Judith Maria and welcome to SG Global News. From the Ecumenical commemoration honoring 21st century martyrs to Corwell Health announcing that it will stop gender-affirming care to minors, we have many stories to cover. On Sunday, September 14th, Pope Leo XIV presided over the ecumenical commemoration honoring martyrs and witnesses of faith from the 21st century at Rome's Basilica of St. Paul outside the walls. The Pope described their testimony as a hope filled with immortality, noting that their sacrifice continues to advance the gospel, resists being silenced, and serves as a powerful sign of the ultimate triumph of good over evil. On Sunday, Pope Leo XIV presided over an ecumenical commemoration honoring the martyrs and witnesses of faith from the 21st century at Rome's Basilica of St. Paul outside the walls. He emphasized that even though they have been killed in body, no one can silence their voice or erase the love they have shown. The liturgy, held on September 14th, brought together leaders from Orthodox, Eastern, and Protestant communities as well as representatives from ecumenical organizations and the Vatican. The pontiff shared that through his cross, Jesus revealed to us the true face of God, his infinite compassion for humanity. Speaking on the feast of exaltation of the Holy Cross, the Holy Father noted that many believers today continue to bear the cross of Christ. He added, like Christ, they are persecuted, condemned, and killed, highlighting the sacrifices of men and women, priests, lay people, and members of religious orders who have lost their lives for remaining faithful to the gospel, defending religious freedom, and standing in solidarity with the poor. The Pope recalled the witness of Sister Dorothy Stang, who was murdered in Brazil after showing her Bible to her attackers, saying, "This is my only weapon." He also honored the memory of Father Rahid Ghani, a Chaldean priest in Mosul, and Brother Francis Toffee, an Anglican religious murdered in the Solomon Islands. He reaffirmed the Catholic Church's dedication to preserving the memory of martyrs from all Christian traditions, highlighting the ongoing collaboration between the Vatican's Commission of New Martyrs and the Dicastery for promoting Christian unity. The pontiff concluded by quoting Abish Masih, a young Pakistani boy who lost his life in an attack on a Catholic church. In his notebook, he had written, "His dream is to make the world a better place." The Pope said this simple yet powerful dream should inspire Christians today to boldly live out their faith, becoming a source of hope and unity in building a more peaceful and compassionate world. Pope Leo XIV formally welcomed Brian Birch, the newly appointed U.S. ambassador to the Holy See, at the Apostolic Palace in the Vatican, where Birch presented his letters of credence. A statement from the U.S. Embassy noted that the Pope and Ambassador Birch discussed several pressing global issues. Addressing the recent assassination of conservative Christian activist Charlie Kirk, the embassy said, Pope Leo emphasized that political disagreements must never lead to violence. He also told the Ambassador Birch that he was praying for Kirk's widow and children.
Brian Birch, the new U.S. ambassador to the Holy See, met with Pope Leo XIV on September the 13th and formally presented his letters of credentials from President Trump. According to a U.S. Embassy statement, the two men discussed the ongoing wars in Ukraine and Gaza, as well as protecting religious freedom, the Vatican's relationship with China, and the AI revolution. The Holy Father also spoke about the assassination of Christian activist Charlie Kirk, stating that political differences could never be resolved with violence, and told Ambassador Birch that he was praying for the widow of Mr. Kirk and his children. Ambassador Birch described the meeting as extraordinarily friendly. Brian Birch's wife, children, daughter-in-law, and granddaughter were also present at the meeting. The family presented the Holy Father with handmade greeting cards and a cake on the occasion of his 70th birthday. Deeply impressed by Birch's initiatives and role in mobilizing Catholics for the presidential election, Trump had announced last December that he would nominate him as ambassador to the Vatican even before taking office. Before his appointment, Birch was the president and co-founder of Catholic Vote.
A public memorial service for the late conservative activist Charlie Kirk is set for Sunday, September 21st in Arizona, according to Turning Point USA. The organization announced the event in a post on Platform X. The morning service will be held at the State Farm Stadium in Glendale to honor Kirk. U.S. President Donald Trump announced his intention to attend the funeral following an emotional tribute he delivered after Kirk's death. Turning Point USA has announced that a public memorial service for the late conservative activist Charlie Kirk will be held on Sunday, September 21st in Arizona. The organization, which promotes conservative values on high school and college campuses, shared the news in a post on Platform X, stating that the morning service will take place at State Farm Stadium in Glendale. The event will honor Kirk, the group's co-founder who was assassinated earlier this week in Utah Valley University. The post read, quote, "Join us in celebrating the remarkable life and enduring legacy of Charlie Kirk, an American legend," end quote. The post also shares the details for the service scheduled to take place at the home of NFL's Arizona Cardinals. According to the organization, doors for Charlie Kirk's memorial service will open at 8 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, with the program scheduled to begin at 11 a.m. Kirk's funeral will be held in Arizona, where he lived with his wife and 2 children prior to his death. His body was transported by Air Force 2 from Salt Lake City, Utah to Phoenix Mortuary on Thursday, September 11, 2025. The same day, President Donald Trump told reporters that he intends to attend Kirk's service, which he believes will be held in Arizona and is expected to take place over the next weekend. Vice President J.D. Vance, who accompanied Kirk's casket on September 11th, is also expected to attend the service. Alongside Trump and Vance, several senior administration officials, including Secretary of State Marco Rubio, are anticipated to be present at the memorial. A pastor in San Diego County was fatally shot at his residence this week, leaving his community in shock over the unexpected tragedy. The suspect is currently in custody as authorities continue their investigation. The San Diego County Sheriff's Office confirmed that Pastor Philip Asensio was killed by gunfire at his residence on 8th Street in Ramona on Sunday afternoon.
A San Diego County pastor was fatally shot inside his Ramona home Sunday afternoon, according to the sheriff's office. Authorities identified the victim as Pastor Philip Asensio of Templo Monte Horeb. A suspect was confirmed in custody, though they did not provide a name or motive. The shooting occurred at Asensio's residence on 8th Street. KGTV reported that the sheriff's office confirmed the death. Asensio was regarded as more than a preacher in his congregation. Parishioners described him as a mentor, father figure, and personal guide. One congregant said the community was in disbelief, adding that many still expected him to walk in and greet them during services. Friends recalled that Asensio opened his home to those in need and offered support during difficult times. Residents rallied to support his family after the tragedy. A GoFundMe page launched by relatives stated that his loved ones faced a heavy burden from the sudden loss. The organizer appealed for donations, noting that any help would bring comfort.
During an audience with Cardinal Secretary of State Pietro Parolin on August 4, 2025, Pope Leo XIV approved by means of rescript the ULSA Council's recommendations regarding the inclusion of individuals with disabilities in the Vatican workforce. Going forward, all institutions of the Holy See and the Governorate are instructed to actively promote the employment of people with disabilities.
Pope Leo XIV has approved the decision of the Labour Office of the Apostolic See to include persons with disabilities within the Holy See's workforce. The approval was given in an audience granted to Cardinal Secretary of State Pietro Parolin on August the 4th with a rescript. From now on, all Vatican institutions, both of the Holy See and of the Governorate, will employ persons with disabilities since the condition of disability does not preclude suitability for work. According to Vatican News, in the general regulations of the Roman Curia regarding recruitment and appointment of staff, the wording state of good health duly ascertained has been replaced with psychophysical suitability for the duties to be carried out, certified by the Directorate of Health and Hygiene of the Vatican City State. Last month, Pope Leo also approved new provisions to extend the rights for Vatican employees by establishing 3 days of paid leave each month for parents of children with disabilities and 5 days of paid leave for Vatican employees on the occasion of the birth of a child.
Christians in Iraq are marking the Feast of Holy Cross with a vibrant 5-day celebration in Erbil's Christian district. Communities that once fled ISIS violence are gathering for prayer, music and cultural events showing their resilience and unity. Organizers say this public witness honors their survival and offers hope that faith endures beyond war and persecution.
Christians in northern Iraq gathered September 9 to 13 in Ankawa, Erbil's Christian district, for the Feast of Exaltation of the Holy Cross. The gathering united the Assyrian Church of the East, Chaldean, Syrian Catholic, and Syriac Orthodox communities in a festival of prayer, music, and cultural activities. The event also commemorated communities displaced by ISIS in 2014, when over 120,000 Christians fled toward Erbil. The program began with a 1.25-mile candlelight procession from the Chaldean shrine of St. Elijah to the Syrian Cathedral of St. John the Baptist, followed by prayers and homily from Mar Awa III, Patriarch of the Syrian Church of the East. Organizers said the celebration aimed to draw thousands, including vigils, concerts, marathons, and children's activities. A joint youth committee representing all 4 churches played a central role in planning, according to Alatea. Chaldean Archbishop Bashar Warda of Erbil described the festival as deeply symbolic, noting faith had survived and hope remained stronger than death. Sources said the initiative received support from aid to the church in need and leaders of Christian groups. Eastern Christians said the Feast of the Cross honors Empress Helena's discovery of the true cross, still observed by Catholics and Orthodox in the East. Local leaders emphasized that the annual commemoration carried a broader message to the global church. Christians remained rooted in the land of Abraham, and the cross continues to speak.
Corewell Health in Michigan has announced that it will stop offering gender-affirming care to minors, including treatments like puberty blockers and hormone therapy. In a statement, the health system cited the serious risk of legal and regulatory action as the reason behind the decision. The health system joins other systems across the country that halted such care after President Trump signed an executive order earlier this year. One of Michigan's largest healthcare systems with 21 hospitals, Corewell Health confirmed that it will no longer provide gender-affirming care to minors, such as prescribing puberty blockers or hormone therapy. The health system stated that the decision was made given the serious risk of legal and regulatory action. Corewell Health shared in a statement that they will continue to compassionately address the health needs of their patients who are in transition or wish to transition, including mental health support. The health system is among several across the country that stopped providing such care after President Trump signed an executive order earlier this year ending federal support for gender-affirming care for minors. The executive order applies to puberty blockers, hormone therapy, and gender-affirming surgeries. It also instructed federally administered insurance programs to deny coverage for these treatments and urged the Justice Department to pursue related legal actions and legislative efforts rights. Additionally, Mr. Trump issued an order formally recognizing only two sexes. In August, Michigan Medicine announced it had stopped offering gender-affirming care to minors following the receipt of federal subpoena. According to the hospital, the subpoena is linked to an ongoing criminal and civil investigation. Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel described Cowell's recent decision as deeply disappointing. Just last month, her office joined a coalition of states in filing a lawsuit against the Trump administration in response to the president's executive orders. The statement shared read, quote, "We urge healthcare institutions in Michigan to join our office and other institutions in fighting back against the federal government's intrusion into personal and sensitive healthcare decisions. These sensitive healthcare matters should not be determined by the government but by parents in concert with their children and their families' medical providers," end quote. That's all for today. Until we meet again, God bless and thank you.